It is a distinctly humbling experience, as well as a great honor to stand here before you, to receive this appointment as the Vice President of this world-renowned organization. This appointment is all the more significant to me, since the Family Federation represents the culmination of my father's lifelong efforts. It has always been my life's goal to ultimately aid my parents in building God's kingdom here on earth through the formation of God-centered families. And with this appointment, I can finally join them in their crusade. Before I begin, I would like to extend my appreciation to all of you gathered here today to celebrate this day with me. I am deeply touched by this warm reception, your best wishes, and your vote of confidence. Thank you very much. Husband-wife, father-mother, relationships are fulfilled within the family. Irregardless of who we are or what station we hold in life, are we not the sons and daughters, the brothers and sisters, the husband and wives, or the fathers and mothers of someone else? It is within the family, then, that we find all the essential relationships of heart that teaches us about faith, trust, obedience, compassion, forgiveness, humility, vulnerability, and most of all, true unconditional love. It is within the family that our social consciousness is formed and our worldview molded. If this essential social unit were flawed, then, would it not affect the whole of human society and even the world? I think the answer is clear. Problems stemming from the first human family have infected tribes, nations, and ultimately the world throughout the course of human history. My father has been working tirelessly over the past 60 years to restore man's first family, so that once again, mankind could rest in the bosom of God. The cross that my parents had to bear to bring forth the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification International just 3 years ago was fraught with unspeakable and often unseen suffering. As a son, I understand the sacrifices they made all too well. My parents had endured ridicule, false accusations, and even imprisonment from the hands of those they were desperately trying to help. I still vividly remember the day my father had to leave our home in East Garden to enter Danbury Prison. I was only 14 then, and I remember how much anger I felt towards America in first humiliating and then incarcerating my father. However, I remember how my father consoled me and my brothers and sisters. Reminding us that through his sacrifice, God will bless America even more. I do not think any man or woman has endured the level of persecution that my parents had faced throughout their ministry. Yet they hold no bitter feelings or ill will towards anyone. Walking the course of a pioneer, they faithfully and unflinchingly paved a path for us here today. This path, unfortunately, had been paid in blood, sweat, and tears. Recognizing the immense suffering endured to erect the Family Federation for World Peace, I cannot but feel unworthy in receiving my appointment. As a young man who has yet to be tested by life's trials, I still have much to learn and prepare. However, what I might lack in experience, I hope to make up in youthful vigor and deep-seated desire to aid my parents in their life's mission. I believe that there are two areas in which I can make a positive contribution to the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification International. The first area is in the field of education. As a son, I have been very fortunate to intimately witness the extraordinary lives of my parents. Although I have been constantly impressed with the level of dedication and faith that many early as well as current disciples exhibited, I could not help but notice the difficulty many faced in trying to live up to the standard of faith, love, and obedience maintained by my parents. Intimately knowing the standards by which my parents live, as well as struggling myself to live by them, I feel I'm in a unique position to offer guidance and assistance to those in need. Secondly, as a young man, I believe I have a clear obligation to revive the second generation of our movement, as well as offer a fresh, new vision for the world's youth. I firmly believe that the second generation carries the hope of our movement, as well as the world, for they are the direct heirs of my parents' work. Up until now, however, a systematic course of education and development was not laid to prepare these youths to rightfully inherit their birthright as heirs of our movement. As a result, many have become disillusioned and fell astray. I pledge to alter this current state by reinvigorating them, to recognize their value as historical figures in bringing about a world of peace and love. By raising these young people to represent God's ideal, they will offer an alternative standard of life to the young people of the world. Thank you very much. Over the last 3
I give my heartfelt thanks to God that God has been waiting for such a day like today, then finally the day came today. When we look at the family of Adam, there was 3 generations to be established, but because of fall of man, God could not enjoy having the 3 generations completed. Because of that, the history of restoration continued until today to restore entire 3 generations. But therefore, today, upon the completion of 3 generations, we have this precious ceremony. Therefore, I'm deeply grateful. As we all know, this perfection of the 3 generations is not completed yet. That's why Hyun Jin Moon was assigned to the Vice President of the FFWP-UI today, so that along with Hyun Jin Moon, we all can perfect this 3 generation task, and upon that, we will build the ideal kingdom here together.
이 시대에서는 우리는 말하기를 성약세대가 도래했다는 선포하였습니다.
At this point, we declared the time of the complete testament era has arrived.
구약 이제 현지는 말이야. 현지는 아버지가 이거 해라 하면 그거 갖고 얼마나 그 1000배씩이 저렇게 이래.
So from Hyunjin's point of view, if true father asks him to do 10 things, Hyunjin would come and say, "Father, that's not enough. I will do 1,000 things." As long as that kind of relationship goes on between father and Hyunjin, the future of Unification Church, FFWP-UI, is great.
Amen.